Hi, I'm Dr. Joey Fawcett. Welcome to Faith Positive Television. This week, let's talk about 3 strategies to be original at work. The Apostle Paul writes to the church of Galatia, we will not compare ourselves with each other as if one of us were better and another worse. We have far more interesting things to do with our lives. Each of us is an original. In our #1 bestseller, Faith Positive in a Negative World, we tell the story about a duck hunter in town who was said to have the best retriever in the county, but he refused to take anyone hunting with him to see the dog work. Finally, he agreed to let one friend go duck hunting with him. He made the fellow promise not to tell anyone in town about his dog. Friend promised, and so off they went duck hunting, and he shot a duck, and the dog took off to retrieve the downed bird, and instead of swimming, the dog walked on the water to the downed bird, picked it up, and returned it, still walking on the water to the hunters. The owner of the dog turned to his partner and said, "Now do you understand why I don't want you to tell anyone in town about my dog?" "Yeah, I do," the fellow replied. "I wouldn't want anybody to know I owned a dog that couldn't swim either." It sure is easy to compare, isn't it? How do you avoid comparing and competing at work so that you increase your faith with greater joy at work and love God and others more? Here are 3 strategies for you to use to be original at work. First, beware comparing. Notice that the Apostle Paul said, we will not compare ourselves with each other as if one of us were better and another worse. The friend failed to appreciate the originality of the dog who walks in water because he compared the dog with what he knew as familiar. Your brain literally craves the familiar because it's so easy to understand. It's the status quo and usually regarded as better. The unfamiliar is regarded as dangerous because it's change. Your brain must work to create new neural pathways of understanding. It's innovation and usually regarded as dangerous, or as Paul words it, worse. And that's often your first reaction. So beware comparing. It defeats innovation, stifles creativity, and devalues uniqueness. Avoid comparing and increase your faith at work. Second, become more interesting. The Apostle Paul says, we have far more interesting things to do with our lives. What far more interesting things is God calling you to do from your divine design at work as you avoid comparing? A coworker who has an innovative answer to the company's greatest challenge is waiting for someone to ask what she would do. Will you be that person who asks and unleashes the answer God has prepared? How much more interesting will that be than comparing that coworker to others? Become more interesting and interested in others. It's the pathway to greater joy at work. Third, be original. Paul says, each of us is an original. Of all the dogs in the world, this guy hunts with the one who walks on water or can't swim, depending on your perspective. Of all the people in the world, you're unique out of over 7 billion, and so are your teammates, and it's for a reason. First, to glorify God. I mean, who else but our infinite God is that creative? Second, it's so that you can be you, an original. We invite each person in our company to be themselves, working from their divine design in response to the Holy Spirit's calling, making their unique contribution as only they can. It sounds something like, let Joey be Joey, only insert your name here. Your company can do the same. Encouragement of such personal originality is light years beyond mere tolerance of diversity. It's freeing each person to be who she or he is created to be. Be original. It's the pathway to loving God and others more. So first, beware comparing. Second, become more interesting. Third, be original. And watch God bless your work as you implement these 3 strategies to be original at work, as you work faith positive, even in a negative world. For Faith Positive TV, I'm Dr. Joey Fawcett.
Get your free sample chapters of Dr. Joey's #1 Amazon bestseller, Faith Positive in a Negative World, at getpositive.com/faith-positive.